Hello everyone, this is iced 0.14 and I'm going to look at adding a progress bar. Now if you look at the iced repo, there's some examples. What I wanted to do was do the bare minimum code to add a progress bar. So as you can see here on line 2, we've added a progress bar as an iced widget. That's the bit that you'll see. We need to also add, remove that. We need to use iced animation. Centers just some justification that would be there anyway. So we're going to add animation and subscription. We'll explain why we need subscription in a minute. But for now, the first thing we're going to do, what I should have done was demoed this before we started. Let me just demo it. So I've just got the basic counter. There you see, increment, decrement. So we've got state, we've got message, update, view, SMUV. So you always have those 4 parts in iced. And this is cross-platform, by the way. So if you're a Windows or a Apple, whatever it's called, user, then this will work for you as well. So animation, we pass in F32. Next. So the struct, that's effectively a bit like, well, it's the counter. So it's storing the count, the value there, which starts off at 0. There's I64 because you can go plus or minus. Label is the number that you saw on the screen. As you keep clicking increment or decrement, that changes. Right, so progress. If you're not familiar with Rust, then you have the struct, which is basically your data, and then the Impl, which uses the struct and it has one or more functions. We've got a default function here. To start off with, the value is 0. The label is just an empty string. So the progress is going to be animation new, state 0.0, duration, time from seconds 1. I'm doing this on the fly a bit, but I think that means the progress bar will run from 0 to 1 second. So it should complete in 1 second. We're going to do this based on time rather than an actual event. So tick is instant. So that's like a little chunk of time. So each time something happens, that's 1 tick. And here we go. So we've got the Impl counter. Let me collapse all these just to show you the overview. So we've got struct, which is counter. That could be called something else in it. You could be called, depending on what your program does, then you'll always have a struct and an Impl. So state, the S is the state, then the M is the message, and then you've got the update and the view. So update and view will live in your second Impl. See there, so we're running a default for the counter, and then we've got the actual Impl for the counter here. So all these variants here, increment, decrement, label changed. And we need to remove message load. We will uncomment this. Save it to format it again. There we go. So message load. So progress animation set to 0, duration 1 second. We've got this thing here called go. So let's have a look at progress. That's part of animation. Yeah, we're getting into the weeds a bit here. I wanted to keep it simple. Plus, I don't understand all that code anyway. It's the first time I've seen it. Right, so we've got progress, duration, go. Obviously, we've got new there, which creates the new animation with the duration, and then go 100. So basically, it's saying what the upper limit is and where it should be now, or what the at instant now. Message tick. No up, just wakes up. View to redraw with a fresh instant now. Okay. This is the subscription. So with a subscription, it's if we were just doing 0 to 100 and we didn't care about what was going on behind the scenes, we would just do it incrementally. But because we want this to, in time, we want it to be proportional to, for instance, a download or a file transfer, then you set up something called a subscription. And again, the subscription is an iced trait. Turns an empty, so that's the none. Creating an asynchronous worker with a bidirectional communication. You can leverage this helper to create a subscription that spawns an asynchronous worker in the background, establish a channel of communication with an iced application. So it's when you've got something talking to iced that isn't a widget. That's how I understand it. Right, so then we just have we create a value. We're in view now, so we've got update and view, and they kind of updates the values, and then view updates the view that you see. Self.progress interpolate with, then you've got closure there, which is going v, comma, at instant now. A measurement of a monotonically non-decreasing clock, opaque and useful with duration. Instants are always guaranteed, barring platform bugs, but no less. I think the key takeaway here is that they're always greater than 0, and they always increase upwards. They may jump forwards, but we'll never go backwards. There we go. Then we just go progress bar. So there's lots of noughts, hundreds scattered all over this code button. Press, so that's the button that makes it do the actual loading. So on press, just got a key event there. 0 to 100 and value, presumably that's value. Yeah, so you could go up by increments of, that's effectively the state, isn't it? It's not chord state here. At the counter, you got the value, I64. Let's run this, and this should show you the new button. Oh, one morning admitted. Oh, I've got center in here twice because I was showing you it working before it had the new progress bar added. Okay, so the increment and decrement like we had before, and this is the load, which was on the, we've got the on press event. Nothing happened. Why is that? Subscription. I forgot to uncomment. So the subscription is that it takes events which aren't from widgets. They say you learn by your mistakes, and I'll remember that in future. There we go. I think that was 1 second. Yeah, there we go. So it's not proportional to any download or anything yet. So that'll be the next step. But I just wanted to capture this for my own benefit, and also I thought, well, I'd just record it while I'm doing it. So this is using iced 0.14.0. There you go. So if you want to watch this back in pause it, you'll see each line that I've added or uncommented. to make this work with a slider, or sorry, a progress bar. Got sliders on the brain because that was going to be the next thing I looked at. But yeah, animation, subscription, the two things. So you add progress, which is of type animation, F32. You add that to the counter. Then you need to make the addition to the message. So everything that happens with update, every activity needs to be so these are effectively verbs, aren't they? Increment, decrement, load, change. Subscription, remember that, because if it's not something specifically working with a widget, then or if it's external to iced, then you need a subscription, and that's so if self progress is animating, return iced window frames map message tick. I don't think I'm going to remember this, so either I've got to do this daily for a week or two, or I'm just going to have to take a few of these things as just as read, really. Iced window, so that makes sense. Iced window frames. What? In any case, so this subscription is useful to smoothly draw application-driven animations without missing any frames. This is, if you read the iced book, it's great. It says it's very opinionated, and that's true, but obviously that's a good thing. It's a good thing because if you look at the alternative to using iced, if you use GPUI, for instance, you'll end up with 5 times as much code, I would say. Anyway, that's your progress bar. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back next time.